and welcome to another EG Recap. I'm Jack Lindsay, and we've got balanced audio, and we've got hexagons. I made that screen boxing and my box a little more boxy. We got all kinds of stuff. Speaking of which, though, I want one particular piece of feedback from you guys above all others for today's episode. What I want to know is, what kind of content would you be most interested in seeing? Now, that goes for the channel as a whole, as well as for these recaps. But seriously, whatever it is, whatever you can think of, as long as it's something you would actually be interested in watching, leave those comments and like the comments of others with ideas that you think you would like to watch. I'm going to gather this information and take it back to Jeremy, because I'm genuinely curious. I mean, if it can be implemented, if it can be done, and there's a high demand for it, why not do it? So tell me in the comments below, what would you like to see? And as for today's news, I've got two stories for you. One's about werewolves, one's about aliens. For werewolves, we've got Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood Wants to Rip Your Face Off by Jonathan Irwin. And we got a trailer we'll check out later. But first, okay, seriously, where did all this come from? In the last year, World of Darkness has clawed tooth and nail back into the video game world. First, it spearheaded its assault with the reveal of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Then, in a matter of months, it seemed like there was another reveal everywhere you looked. But outside of Bloodlines 2, none of them have really had the major excitement factor behind them. It just seemed like we were getting a lot of tie-ins to Vampire. But now, fans of World of Darkness have something to keep their eye on beyond the tangled underground of the vampire clans. Emerging from the woods with a blood-filled howl at the moon comes Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. Far from the hustle and bustle of Seattle, Washington, Bloodlines 2 will be taking players to the wild against a new enemy, corporate overreach. That sounds like a joke, but it's actually the setup for a game with a narrative that wants to set itself apart from what we see in the vampire side of gaming. Following the werewolf Cahal, I think, players will return home to find a forest being steadily stripped away in favor of expansion by the company Pentex. But this isn't Fern Gully. This isn't a simple matter of deforestation for profit. Pentex, for those who maybe aren't too into the World of Darkness, is more than just a corporate body. It's a tool of the Defiler Worm, whose very intent is to sow ruin and destruction through the globe. It's corruption incarnate. The Defiler, like other worms, hates the Garou, aka werewolves. It was an SNK fighter, Garou, Mark of the Wolves. Your goal as Cahal will be saving your pack from destruction, and what better way to accomplish this than to meet Pentex head-on? Now, it's hard to get a huge idea of just what Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood will be from the teaser, but what we do know is that it's going to be an RPG. Will it be something along the lines of Bloodlines in terms of gameplay? Will it be a more traditional RPG, since there's a pack of werewolves involved, with a party system? Will it have real-time or turn-based combat? Please not turn-based. I have so many questions, and developer Cyanide Studios and publisher Big Ben Games haven't given us nearly enough answers yet. At least they gave us an incredible teaser trailer, though. Earthblood is expected to release sometime in 2020 for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC platforms. If you're interested in following the game, you can check out its social media through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We've got links to those in the article below. Do we have any werewolf fans out there? How about just World of Darkness in general? Let us know what you think about the trailer and the premise of Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. This is a note from a Jack 1 hour in the future, letting you know we will not be watching the trailer together, because when I maximize it on my screen, OBS cuts it in half. Don't know why, but the footage is nonsense, so we won't be including it. Back to you, Jack 1 hour in the past. On to the next story. Alien Hope for the Future trailer shows work of a dedicated fan. This is also by Jonathan Irwin. The Alien franchise, if you ask either myself or Jack Lindsay, is probably one of the best things to ever happen to the different entertainment industries. That's high praise for a series that's carried mostly by the first two films, entirely by the first two films, where the subsequent films afterward were a range of highs and lows that just never quite rose to the level of the first two. There were not any highs. Alien Isolation brought us the feel of the first movie, surviving against a looming threat and never quite having the means to face it head-on. But as the name implied, we were very much alone with very little human interaction. A new game made by a dedicated fan called Alien Hope for the Future aims to capture the feel of the second film in the series. It wants us to experience aliens as we've never have before. It wants us to become one of the colonists on the ill-fated colony of Hadley's Hope on LV-426. They all died. Only one survived. Of course, by the time we ever see the colony in the movie, it's been all but decimated, and while the movie captured the immediate threat amazingly, we never got a feel for the terrors that the colonists must have gone through, at least until we get a look at this trailer. It's far from perfect. The animations are very rough around the edges, but in a short span of time, we get a comprehensive look at the final moments of calm on the colony, and then the desperate fight for survival by those who aren't wiped out in the opening minutes. The gameplay is set to include mechanics allowing you to steadily cordon off safe zones for you and other survivors as long as possible, such as welding doors shut and finding supplies, small arms, food, medicine, and more. I wonder if we'll also have to fight to keep the power on. That'd get intense really quickly once everything goes dark. Well, in the movie, when the Marines and Ripley were circling the compound, she said, structure seems intact, and they've still got power. So if we're going based on the movie, they did not lose power. But as with any fan project, the greatest danger isn't within the game. It's not the xenomorphs. It's not the danger of running low on supplies. The greatest danger is the property owners, which right now is Disney. Disney? Oh my god. Disney officially owns the Alien and Predator franchises. Let's just watch the trailer. Nope. Jack from the future again. We will not be watching the trailer because once again, when I put it on full screen on my screen, what OBS captured was it getting cut in half. Back to you, Jack from the past. Why do people do this? Why do they have to know it's going to get shut down? Maybe they're hoping that it's kind of like a resume builder. They can show other development studios like, before it got shut down, look what I did on my own. Maybe they're hoping to get picked up by the people who do own the license for it. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. We're a good bit over 10 minutes now. Correction, Jack from the past. We are not at 10 minutes yet because we had to cut out both of the trailers. We're at something like 8 minutes, which means I, Jack from the future, need to make up the other 2 because of the arbitrary time limits imposed by the YouTube algorithm. I don't know exactly how it works or why, but for whatever reason, 10 minutes is what you have to shoot for. Do you like my hallway of time travel? It's pretty cool, huh? Now that I'm here, though, let me just reiterate from the beginning. I am looking for feedback about content. Content that you would like to see. Now, that can be within the context of recaps themselves, or within the context of the channel as a whole. Because I'd like to see if I can't find out what those answers are, if there's some sort of consensus among you guys. Write all that down, take it back to the meeting, show it to Jeremy, tell him, and talk about maybe implementing some of it. Because the channel's here to grow the site, right? I mean, that's kind of the purpose of this channel. But it can't help grow the site if it itself doesn't grow. And it's not going to grow unless it's got stuff you want to see. And you guys have been very good sports with me, very encouraging, and giving me a lot of good advice on how to improve the quality of this. But don't think I'm fooled into not recognizing that I'm quite a beginner. And the structure of the content for recaps, I follow under instruction. I was basically told find stories from the site and bring them to people on YouTube. And I'll keep doing that. But what else is there? If I want to grow this channel more, if I want to make it grow faster, to then make the site grow faster, to then crush all our enemies and take over the world, throw some ideas out at me to how I might start getting that done. Just remember, whatever it is, it apparently has to be at least 10 minutes long. Until next time. Nope, not until next time yet. Let's actually check and see what the site has to show us. Some of the recent articles I didn't get a chance to cover. We've got 5 horror games that would be great as horror movies. Darksiders 3 is on sale. Homeworld Revelations is coming to tabletop. Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song is coming out in 2021. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle receives Blitz Tank trailer. We got a couple of these weeby visual novel games. And actually, let me show you this mod here. It wasn't big enough to be really part of an article, but it's another one of those Mr. X mods for the Resident Evil 2 remake. And all we've got is a little GIF here, but you can see the gist of it. It's supposed to be the one from Untitled Goose Game, and it's not animated right now, really. But on the final product, they want it to be able to honk at you while it's chasing you around. Yeah, Borderlands 3 gets Bloody Harvest release date and trailer. More of this We Believe stuff. And I'm actually going to put a bunch more articles up right now that aren't even on the site once I get this video up. And hopefully I've made up for the time deficit, because losing the footage from those trailers and reacting to those trailers just threw everything into chaos. Gotta figure out how to make them not cut in half. Or do you guys even... What do you think about me watching trailers and responding to them in the middle of a recap? Is that something that you feel adds to it, or do you prefer me to just skip them? Because I'm good either way. Whatever you guys want. Anyway, I think we've reached the mark now. Hopefully. So, this time for real. Until next time.